You know the feeling when you're running on fumes, too many meetings, too little time, and everyone is asking something from you. You tell yourself, it's just this 1 week that I'm gonna push through. Then that 1 week become a month, and suddenly you realize that's your new normal. Here's the truth. 56% of leaders are experiencing burnout right now. And if you don't break the cycle, you'll become part of that statistic. Today, I want to talk to you about 3 science-backed strategies how to break the burnout cycle so you can lead sustainably without losing yourself in the process. Reclaim your mornings. The strategic clarity ritual. Research shows morning decisions are more accurate and thoughtful, and how you start your day could significantly impact not only your stress level, but also your productivity throughout the day. But unfortunately, most leaders, myself included for years, we start our day by opening our mailbox, which push us to that reactive mode right away. Here's what I'm asking you to do tomorrow morning. When you want to start your day, take only 3 to 5 minutes and ask yourself these questions. What are my top 3 priorities today? How do these priorities move my team's goals forward? What's the one thing that if I finish today, make it a win? Now, once you open your mailbox, don't go top to bottom. Now that you have identified your priorities, do a quick scan through your mailbox, and the emails that are aligned with your top priorities, those are the ones that you're gonna pay attention. The rest, they can either wait or can be delegated. Now, starting your day with clarity is powerful, but here's where most of leaders get stuck. You've set your priority, you know what matters, but you end up spending your whole day in meetings where nothing gets decided. You spend half an hour, full hour in a meeting, and then at the end of the meeting, someone says, let's circle back. 3 weeks later, you're still circling back. Your team is frustrated, and you're carrying the mental weight of 47 unmade decisions. Stop decision drag. The 72 hours collaboration rule. One of the fastest way to burn out your team, not just yourself, is to let the decisions drag on forever. Research shows that decision fatigue is one of the top contributors for leadership burnout, and it has a ripple effect that can overwhelm the entire organization. I developed what I call 72-hour collaboration rule, and it's been a game changer. Here's how it works. You want to first identify 3 to 5 people who are critical for that decision making. And they usually either your team leads who have critical input to provide, or people who are being impacted. Then you bring everyone together in a room. You can set up a half an hour meeting. You can just set up a Microsoft Teams or Slack chats, and you let the teams talk to each other. You can provide some sort of a direction. You can ask the teams that what we're looking here is for options and pros and cons, and also what's the risk of waiting versus making a decision now and moving forward. Then you give the team a chance to work through it together. Depending on the complexity of the problem, they might be able to bring and finalize all the information and analysis together within 1 day or sometimes 2 to 3 days. But you set up that frame. I usually set that time frame around 72 hours unless a problem is very, very complex and we identify a critical piece of information that we have to take it back, and that by itself could take a little bit longer. But you want to time box that process of decision making. And here's the bonus. When you let your team to be part of that decision making instead of you making all the decision, then they're gonna own the outcome. They're gonna be so motivated to make sure that decision will go to the right fruition. And not only it's a weight off your shoulder, but also at the same time, you're helping them to build their leadership capacity. Now you're starting your day with clarity, and you make decisions fast and you build momentum, and you think to yourself, great, I figured this out, time to push even harder. And that's exactly where the trap is, because momentum without reflection is just a faster path to burnout. Build sustainable growth. The weekly reflection practice. Here's the truth that nobody tells the new managers. You can't sprint your way through a leadership career. Burnout happens when you're constantly pushing without ever pausing and reflecting on what's working versus what's not working. Every Friday, I block 15 minutes in my calendar, non-negotiable, and I ask 3 simple questions. What worked this week? What gave me energy? What moved the needle for my team? What didn't work? Where did I feel friction? What drained my energy? What's one thing I'm going to do differently next week based on what I learned? That's it, 15 minutes. But these 15 minutes have saved me from making the same mistakes over and over again. And I put all of these notes in the same notebook, and then once a month I go through them to see if I can identify any pattern. And as an example, what I noticed is that if one day I miss that strategic clarity moment and I just go through my mailbox, that day I would feel so much anxiety and stress, and I'm just not going to be productive. Versus on the days when I let the team to work together and come up collectively with a decision, go through the pros and cons thoughtfully and considering all the ideas, those are the days when I feel so energetic, and so as my team. And when you put all of those patterns together, that's what builds your leadership operating system. And when you have a system, that will help you to work smarter, not just harder, because burnout happens when instead of adjusting to what works versus not, you continuously grounding your way to the ground. And if you want to go even deeper into sustainable leadership practices, watch my next video when I go through 6 habits of high impact leaders. And if this video helped you, consider subscribing and let me know in the comments if you ever felt that you're experiencing burnout.